What is the difference between Barefoot and Minimalist? Is a zero drop shoe a Barefoot shoe? In this video, I'm going to cut through the noise, tell you exactly what a Barefoot, Minimalist and zero drop shoe is, and let you know which shoe is right for you. So firstly, Barefoot shoes. The philosophy of Barefoot shoes is to mimic the barefoot experience as much as possible. The first being a zero drop, meaning from heel through to toe, there is no difference or offset between these two and they're on the same plane. The second being a extra flexible sole with no arch support. And then the third being a wide toe box that this shoe has here. Now, the intersection of all those three circles is where Barefoot shoes do exist. And I think the Primus Light Knit is a classic example of a Barefoot shoe that ticks all three of those criteria. So that moves us on to Minimalist shoes. Now, think of these as the cousin of Barefoot shoes. The purpose of minimal shoes is to have minimal impact on your feet. I like to think of it of where they have the Barefoot DNA as part of the shoe, but don't fully capture all three of those elements to make it a Barefoot shoe. Let me explain. Firstly, in terms of the drop, a minimal shoe like a Merrell Vapor Glove might have a low drop. Usually between 0 and 7 millimeters is considered a minimalist shoe drop. The second is the flexibility in the sole. Some of these shoes are not completely flexible, but are definitely more flexible than other shoes. I haven't really reviewed this shoe yet, but this is a shoe from a brand called Vibe. You can see it's not as flexible as a Barefoot shoe, but definitely has some flexibility to it. With the flexibility of the sole, minimalist shoes often have a higher stack height. Often you're looking at about 10 to 20 millimeters are usually considered minimalist shoes. This shoe here, I think, is about 15 millimeters. It does have a very big insole with a bit of arch support, so it doesn't qualify as Barefoot. Thirdly is a wide or anatomical toe box. Now, not all minimal shoes are going to have a complete wide toe box. The example boot I have here, though, definitely has a wide toe box and you have plenty of room for toe splay. Other shoes such as the New Balance Barefoot shoe, I think it's called the Minimalist, definitely has a more narrow toe box, so they don't fully qualify as a Barefoot shoe, but still take the principles of trying not to inhibit your foot's movement with the shoe. Let's move on to zero drop shoes. Now, based on what I said earlier, these should be the fairly more obvious ones. So a zero drop shoe means from heel through to toe, it's completely flat, like this shoe from Ultra here. Now, these zero drop shoes usually have a lot more cushion, so they don't qualify as a Barefoot shoe. They're definitely a lot less flexible than Barefoot shoes, but a lot more flexible than some traditional running shoes. Additionally, Ultras do have wide toe boxes. Not all zero drop shoes have to have a wide toe box, but because the brands like to follow the natural foot shaped philosophy, they do tend to have wide foot shaped toe boxes as well as zero drop. So why do we want zero drop shoes? So it doesn't inhibit your body's posture and it doesn't change the alignment of your body's knees, hips and shoulders, which is what a drop actually does to your body when you're standing on a hill. Lastly, we'll get onto natural foot shaped shoes. So this is where a shoe will just have a wide toe box. It won't be zero drop, won't have a flexible sole, and just fits one of those criteria of a Barefoot shoe. So the example I have here is from a brand called Topo Athletic. Now, this has a very low drop, but definitely has a wide toe box. Now, this is a more max cushion running shoe that I do like to wear because you do get that toe split. They have a lot of other models like this. They also do have zero drop models like Ultra. For me, the natural foot shaped shoes or the anatomical wide toe box shoes are the non-negotiable when I choose shoes. So when you decide what you need when you're buying your next shoe out of these characteristics I mentioned, it does change for everyone. For me, I need wide toe box shoes, as I have a Morton's neuroma. Anything narrower is causing a lot of pain to my foot and I have to take shoes off after a few hours. So what I use mightn't work for someone else. So I use Barefoot shoes most of the time. I use them to build up my foot strength with that flexibility in the sole. I use them in the office casually most of the time, at the gym, and it's like giving my foot a workout when I'm using them. Secondly, I use zero drop and sometimes very low drop shoes such as this Topo Athletic shoe here and this Ultra when I'm running up to 40 to 50 kilometers a week. We didn't actually evolve to run on such hard surfaces that we do now, such as concrete or tarmac. Our ancestors evolved running on more natural land and softer ground. So sometimes we actually need protection with that. That's why Ultras these Topo Athletics are actually good. They protect our feet from getting banged up too much, so we can run those distances such as 40-50 kilometers per week. You might want a minimal upper with a bit of flexibility when you're transitioning over to barefoot shoes, so a more minimalist shoe might be good there. You might be like me and need a lot more cushion when you're running or throughout your workday, so you might go for a zero drop shoe where you need a bit more protection around that sole. Or you might just go the full barefoot route like I have done, because I'd been looking for wide toe box shoes and they just so happened to be a lot of barefoot shoes. That's how I got into the barefoot world. So I hope that helped. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video, and also subscribe for more barefoot shoe content. My name's Ryan, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.